Okay, the demonic people that continue to torture me continue to ask me stupid questions because they're stupid and, mostly they want to know what's going to happen to people that are demonic. Everybody knows what happens to demons, don't you? What's demonic mean? People who have ill will towards others. People who pray for bad things to happen to other people. And people that go and take things like that into their own hands and go around hurting people on purpose. Just because they like to be the one to hurt other people. Because it gives them ego juice. Feeling of superiority over others, feeling of power over others. It's mostly the feeling of being God, playing God to others. Why am I going like that? Just waiting for words. I don't know, it's just like, is it a big surprise when, bad people get their comeuppance when they meet their nemesis? Everybody does expect that nasty people are going to get what's coming to them. Everybody has faith in that. Everybody puts all of their belief in that. Everybody wants it to be so. Everybody wants nasty people to be punished for being nasty. Isn't it so? Do we call them assholes? That guy's a fucking asshole. When you say that, it's like, that guy is a cruel-hearted son of a bitch, and somebody needs to take a 2x4 and smack him in the head because they're hurting people. Isn't it so? And who wants to whine about it? The cowardly bastard who's going around beating people up. The bully. And then the bully's always the one that what? Makes them some pack of lies that, that whoever they were beating up, it was their fault. I think we're just waiting for the great comeuppance, the great nemesis to hit the evil people. That's what we're all in a great state of expectation because we know that they're overdue for the karmic hit that rubs them out, takes away everything they have in the material world and takes away their freedom to hurt other people. It's their turn. They put out this horrible energy to hurt other people, and that energy coming around and rubbing them out. I don't know why I keep being given to go over this over and over again, as if it's like it's all new information. Is it new information? No. I don't know. It's just these reptilian people that. I think that's what it is. I think they expect a lot of horrible, horrible to happen to them. They expect it. So in actuality, these people are praying for somebody to turn around and smack them. You fucking bastards that watch me suffer every day. You fucking bastards. You have a huge expectation that you are going to be horribly, horribly punished for taking joy in the misfortunes of others that you're directly involved in creating. Why do you do this insanity, is what most people would say. Why do you overeat? When you know it makes you fat, it gives you indigestion, it makes you sluggish, and it makes everybody else look at you and say, you got a mental disorder when you eat 3 plates of food when one is sufficient for everybody else. Why are you such a glutton? And over the years, watching your gluttonous ways give you a gluttonous waistline. Everybody looks at you, eat, and put on weight. And that's what it's going to be, a wake. Because everybody does expect that you are going to die young. Because you're a glutton and you're morbidly obese. And everybody watches you put on a big display when you go to the all-you-can-eat buffet. And you fatties all get together. And you eat and eat and eat and eat and eat at the all-you-can-eat place. And it is, you're putting on a show for other people. Look, I'm fat, and I'm going to wallow in my pig fat. Yesterday I had 3 full plates of food for lunch, and today I'm going to put on an even bigger show. I'm going to eat a 4th plate, and then I'm going to have ice cream. Because I'm going to show you I don't give a flying fuck about my body. And then I'm going to look at you funny when you look at me funny for eating 4 plates of food plus ice cream. And I'm going to say, you're fat shaming me. And try and make me feel bad when I'm thin and trim. and you're morbidly obese, I'll look at you and I say, you're mentally ill. And you look at me and you said, I'm mean-spirited for calling you fat. You fat people expect us to treat you the same way as us. Why? You're putting on a show. You're not really needing to eat, but you're needing us to watch you eat and eat and eat and eat because you're getting an ego juice out of you performing in the movie Cool Hand Luke. That's a good movie. The egg eating ceremony, Paul Newman. Why? Because he could, but he wasn't morbidly obese. Why do people do demonic terrorism to me? Because they're attention seeking. They're seeking the attention of lots of people. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm 350 pounds. I ate 4 plates of food for lunch. I had ice cream. And then I booked off early at 3:30 in the afternoon when the kids got off school. Well, instead of going and hanging out with the kids, what did I do? I went to the beer store and I bought 24 beer. And I plan on drinking 24 beer by midnight tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm going to probably be hungover, so I'm going to go out to a restaurant and I'm going to have, I don't know, 3 plates of bacon and eggs. And then, I don't know, maybe by lunch, I'll be ready to have 4 more plates of food. And I'm going to eat them where people can see me eating. See me overeating on purpose. Destroying my body. Giving myself diabetes, heart attack, kidney disease, bad hips, bad knees. The diabetes is going to make me blind in one eye. Knowing all that and still eating, because putting on a show for others is more important than the health of the body. Why? Because fat people don't consider the body that they're associated with to be their responsibility. The body is a foreign thing to a fat person's mind. The person identifies with their mind and not the body. And that's why quite often morbidly obese people, when they look at other fatties, they call them Aunt Barge. And then, when we say, finally, when are you going to... You're fat shaming me? When a morbidly obese person goes to a fat farm, or they go to some place to get liposuction, or to have, a belt inserted around their stomach so that they can have a little mini pouch stomach to help them lose weight. And we all go, my God, you're sick in the head, aren't you? You're beyond mentally ill, aren't you? And then when you put yourself up on a pedestal as being an authority figure on business, politics, sports and leisure, trivial pursuit of all kinds, you want people to respect you for your mind and ignore the enormous overweight body that you're associated with, that you abuse. Because you treat that body that you run around in as a foreign thing to you, because you're just the mind. And the foreign thing is to be abused. So you abuse the body that you force feed. And then you abuse other people. Because other people are just bodies to be abused. Because you have a habit of abusing the body and abusing other people. So, morbidly obese people are abusers. Abuse. Abuse of power. Abuse of power over the body that they are associated with, and abuse of other people, their bodies and minds. And getting joy out of watching other people having a really hard time, and going out of your way and gossiping about those people, how those people are mentally ill, when it's you, fatty, who is mentally ill. It's you, fatty, who are evil. Fat man, you're evil through and through. And you're always seeking an audience where you can perform like a class clown, because you never grew out of your class clown stage that you were in when you were 12 years old. And now you're 56, 57 years old. Fatty. Fatty arbuckle. How far is your evil going to take you, fatty arbuckle? How far are you willing to push your evil ways on other people? Smiling at them with your big teeth and your big grin while you're going for your fourth plate of all you can eat. Let's mange. What is it? Well, I'm going to start eating at, 3:30. And I'm just going to continue to nibble on chicken wings. All night. The joy of constantly chewing your cud like you're a cow. An ego problem. Oh my God, beyond an ego problem. Beyond an ego problem. A reptilian in nature. An alligator that's just going to keep eating. As long as there's food, the alligator's going to keep eating. Greed and gluttony are the sins that you cherish. Greed and gluttony with food, and greed and gluttony with anything else you can manipulate to your advantage. Because I'm having a hard time getting words out because of demonic attack by fat people. Because the fat terrorists, the fat controllers that harass me by this electronic harassment are fat. They abuse themselves and they abuse others. I don't know. I've been given to talk about fat. I talked about fat people, maybe it was a week ago. Fat people are beyond dangerous. They plot. Hermann Goring is one of the most famous fat people of all. Head of the Nazi Luftwaffe of Nazi Germany in World War II. Corpulent and proud of his enormous bulk. A killer. Idi Amin was a dictator of the country of Uganda in the 1970s. Huge fat person. And the stories were that he loved food delicacies that were sick. He would take live monkeys and take a machete and chop off the top of the live monkey to expose the brain of the monkey. And then take a knife and fork and a spoon and dish out the live brains of a monkey and have that for lunch in front of the entourage. And then stories that he didn't always do that with the monkeys. He also did that with human beings. Why do the people torture me while I'm doing these videos? Attention-seeking behavior. Look how evil I am, is what the people say. Why? Because they just want your attention. They want you to know who they are. They want to be compared with the most famous criminals Earth has ever seen. The ones that torture me wanted to be compared with Hermann Goring and Idi Amin. They gave me the names just now. Voice to skull. Look it up. American Army used that technique, high-tech technique in the Gulf Wars. Voice to skull, Iraq war, and you'll see. And that's what they use on me. Why me? Because they know me. The people that torture me know me. That's why they torture me, because they know me. And they're jealous of me, and they're envious of me, even though I'm pretty much the most poor person in their whole social circle of their whole lifetime. So what is the jealousy all about? What is the envy all about? Why go out of your way to ruin someone's life? Why? Why do terrorism to people that you know? Why? Because you're mentally ill? Yes. Criminally mentally ill? Yes. But why? Because you feel better when you are abusing power. This is an old story that Ascended Master Sananda told me 20 years ago. Sananda said abuse of power is human history. And we need to move away from abuse of power, like torturing people with electronic toys by remote control for years and years and years, and not giving people that are being tortured a clue as to who you are, why you're doing it, fatty arbuckle. Fatty arbuckle. Going to all you can eat. In this case, is a treasure chest, and inside there, I don't know, Twinkie Cakes, Sara Lee Cake, Stan's Pizzeria, Nippizano Wine, Pinty's Chicken Wings, KFC, a host of different kinds of beer. Potato chips with lots of dip. Big favorite, biggest favorite, barbecued meat. Enormous amounts of barbecued meat. The joy of buying animals that were killed so you can mange. And then watching me and knowing that, the electronic harassment that goes on against me makes it impossible for me to live a human life. So, fatty arbuckle, that's what you want to do, and that's what you do. Take away my life so you're acting like God. You are acting as God. Isn't that a big ego problem? When you want to replace God with your big, giant fatness, your abuse of power, your surreptitious pleasure at being able to hurt people without them even knowing that it's you doing it, fatty arbuckle. Secret pleasures of being able to squeeze people. And them not knowing that it's you behind the torture of Bobby Burrows, fatty arbuckle. You know who you are, fat man. You're a disgusting fucking thing. Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt. That's who you look up to. Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. Jabba the Hutt. Enormous fat fucking thing that enslaves others. Because you can. For now. And you push karma out of the way of your mind every day. Because your ego is so big and fat. Your ego is even bigger and fatter than your body. You obese fuckface. Anyways. Fatty arbuckle. You're not acting like an adult, fatty arbuckle. And you're not acting like a kid. This is what you've come to, fat man. This is what you've come to, fatty. What do you really expect, fatty arbuckle? when you're a terrorist to people that you know, fatty? Do you expect that the gravy train is going to continue forever? You gluttonous, greedy fuckface? You do. Even though you know that, famous fat people often die young. John Candy, for example. John Belushi. I know, but, they died young, but they were known to everybody. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? You want to win the popularity contest by being known to everybody on the planet. Isn't it true? That's why you're so big in the body, is because you want to be larger than life. And if you can't do it as a comedy act like John Belushi or John Candy, you're going to do it the way of Idi Amin of Uganda. What do you think happened to Idi Amin of Uganda? You don't want to think about what happens when tyrants die and what happens in their afterlife. You don't want to think about it even when you know. It's an absolute horror. But you put it out of your mind day after day because you don't want to face all that future. You don't want to be proactive. Even though among people who are your employees, you demand they be proactive. Because it's your business. And they're your employees. In other words, they are your slaves. You have two standards. A standard for you and a standard for everybody else. And they're not the same. The standard for you is you're a fat fucking glutton and you're at the top of the feeding chain. And everybody else is to get down on their knees and kiss your dirty, stinking ass. Isn't it true? You have a God complex. You have a superiority complex. You're an insane horror, fatty arbuckle. You fat fuck. And you don't want people calling you a fat fuck. You want people to look the other way when your enormous bulk comes by. You want people to never mention anything about your obeseness. Never mention when you went for lunch and they had one plate of food and you had 4 or 5. You don't want people to call you fat. As part of your control over others. You're going to punish people who tell the truth. That's what you do. You punish truth tellers. Where do we end up with this, fatty arbuckle? We all know you're a fat, obese, greedy glutton. We all know. And you know. So why this big charade? You dance around like you're an enormous pig, entertaining yourself at the expense of others. I don't know. That's my descriptor of you, fat man. I have no compassion for you. I have no sympathy for you. I do expect that you will experience the most ungodly place the most ungodly hell, because you dish it out every day to everybody but you, fat man.